Summit County Attorney's Office calls for hearing over motion to disqualify prosecutors in Kouri Richins' case. Hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Katie, and this is where we discuss true crime, politics, and current affairs. If you are a returning viewer, have you subscribed? Clearly you like my content if you keep coming back for more. We're going through the Kouri Richins case again. It's the case that keeps on giving. And as you heard in the introduction, the Summit County Attorney's Office has called for a hearing over a motion to disqualify the prosecutors in Kouri Richins' case. Never a dull moment in this one. This is from parkrecord.com, and it was published on July the 2nd, 2024. A Summit County judge could soon make a ruling on whether to disqualify the County Attorney's Office from prosecuting Kouri Richins in her anticipated murder trial. County Attorney Margaret Olson on Friday filed a motion for the 3rd District Court to hear oral arguments when it considers the former Defence Counsel's request to remove prosecutors from the high-profile case. It was a joint submission with Kouri's new legal team, Nesta Lewis. Sky Lazaro used to represent Kouri. She is currently charged with 11 felonies in connection to the fatal poisoning of her husband, Eric Richins. Sky Lazaro withdrew from the case due to an irreconcilable and unwaivable situation. But before she did, Lazaro also accused prosecutors of violating her client's rights and asked the court to remove them from the case. Yes, this was Lazaro's last act, wasn't it? Her swan song. 3rd District Court Judge Richard Mrazek. We are Judge Mrazek fans here. He seems very level-headed. He seems to take no nonsense. We are fans. But he appointed attorneys Wendy Lewis and Catherine Nesta as public defenders to represent Kouri. However, Judge Mrazek hasn't yet made a ruling on any of the pending motions. The joint filing is the first request submitted by the new defence team. Lewis did not respond to a request for comment by the time of the publication of this article. County Attorney Margaret Olson has outright denied allegations of prosecutorial misconduct. She would argue the previous defence concocted a wildly speculative conspiracy theory if Mrazek agrees to set a court date. The issue partly stems from Sky's accusation that county attorneys, specifically Chief Prosecutor Brad Bloodworth, listened to and read privileged attorney-client information. The Summit County Sheriff's Office uses a program called HomeWave to facilitate, record, and monitor personal communications between inmates and people outside of the Summit County Jail, such as family or friends. Attorneys can register their phone numbers with the jail to prevent their communications from being recorded or downloaded. However, court documents filed by prosecutors state one of Kouri's lawyers refused to register with the program despite the defendant asking the attorney to set it up. Bloodworth and other staff briefly accessed several of the call recordings because they did not recognise that the phone number belonged to a member of the Defence Counsel. The issue was raised with the County Attorney's Office last autumn, and it seemed to be resolved until the motion was filed more than 5 months later. Olson said legal advice or strategy was never discussed during those few seconds. The defendant also told her mother she never revealed sensitive information, according to call transcripts. Tensions between prosecutors and the defence hit a high in the spring. A sheriff's office sergeant was called into a meeting room with Sky Lazaro on March 26th to scan a notebook Kouri wanted to give to her attorney. The corrections officer started to glance at the pages for safety, security threats and contraband, but Sky and Kouri began yelling at him to stop. Prosecutors said the women argued the pages were labelled as privileged. In the present case, the prejudice is clear, states Lazaro's motion to disqualify. Such intrusion undermines the trust and candidness essential for effective legal representation and prejudices the defendant's ability to mount a defence. The sergeant gave the notebook back and went to retrieve his supervisor, Chief Deputy Casey Bates, who then called the county attorney's office. Bloodworth walked to the jail and met with Lazaro as well as several other sheriff's office staff in the lobby. Written statements from witnesses report that Sky Lazaro spoke with a raised voice and interrupted Bloodworth and Bates whilst they remained very calm. Lazaro accused Sheriff's Office employees and Bloodworth of intimidation and interrogation in her filing. The chief prosecutor ultimately concluded the sergeant had done his job and allowed Lazaro to take the notebook. Bates described the incident as a bizarre situation according to court documents. Defence attorneys the next month asked about emails between the county attorney's office and jail staff, but prosecutors said they never broached the issue further. Sky Lazaro suggested the departments are working in concert to impact the defence. She would later file to remove the walk the dog letter from the public court document, arguing it was illegally obtained. If you want to know about the walk the dog letter, I did a whole video on it. It's a mess. We'll just stick with that. Olsen accused the previous defence of participating in a manipulative litigation tactic. Her request for a hearing helps ensure a court ruling to mark the official record. Judge Mrazek has not yet responded to the motion as of writing this article. New prosecutors would be assigned to the case if he agrees to disqualify the county attorney's office, likely prolonging the case even further. Kouri is scheduled to appear in court for her preliminary hearing between August the 26th and August the 28th, 2024. That's when they will decide whether there is enough evidence for her to stand trial. She is currently being held without bail, and she faces charges of aggravated murder, attempted criminal homicide, distribution of a controlled substance, forgery, mortgage fraud, and false insurance claims. There are also civil cases happening alongside. A lot of those will be happening after the criminal case has been dealt with. Some of them are happening sooner. She has 2 hearings in August, basically. She's got a civil one and a criminal one. Eric died of a fentanyl overdose in March 2022. Prosecutors alleged that Kouri poisoned him with a Moscow Mule laced with fentanyl, 5 times the lethal dose, and they say that she attempted to kill him a month earlier with a drug-laced sandwich. The county attorney's office says Kouri felt trapped in her marriage and had a financial motive to kill her husband. Kouri and her family have maintained her innocence. She's also involved in a civil suit with Eric's family for custody of the couple's 3 children as well as the family home. Kouri faces 25 years to life in prison if convicted. The case is not up for capital punishment in line with discussions with Eric's family. That was a longer article than I thought. But, so they won a hearing over the motion to disqualify the prosecutors because Sky's swan song was to request the prosecution be dismissed. That was her swan song, that was what she left on. So they must be wanting a hearing on that because I suppose the new defence are probably going to go with it, and the prosecution are like, no, that's a load of poo-poo. I want to fight this kind of thing. Maybe, I don't know. I could be talking out my backside. So it looks like we're going to be in this case for a while. When I started covering this back in May 2023, I had no idea that it would get this messy. I have seen some cases where they arrest the person, it goes to trial, the trial happens, and there's a verdict. Nice, simple, sorted. Not this one. I understand why Kouri is fighting to stay out of prison, and she's also fighting for her children and what she sees as her home. But, oh my days, it is messy. I have got a whole playlist on it. If you want to catch up, start there. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Really helps the channel to grow. Really gets the videos out there. And come follow me on all the social medias. I'm pretty much on all of them. Fairly recently started a Facebook page where I am quite active. I share a lot of news articles that I think are important. So come find me on whichever social media you are on. Come say hi. Let me know what video you came from. And that's it for this one. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.